face of Civil War, Marvel's cinematic universe is in full throttle these days. However, you've got to give credit to the older cousin twice removed franchise, Fox's X-Men movies. Sure, there may have been a handful of missteps along the way, but with the success of the James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence fronted First Class and Days of Future Past, the timeline seems like it's back on track. And it's looking like we can count on X-Men Apocalypse to keep up that trend. I'm Caliban with Cinematica, and today we're learning about some old friends, some new friends, some old friends with new faces, and one crazy baddie with a god complex. Are you a die-hard fan or just wondering what all the fuss is about? Well, we've got something for everyone as we count down the 107 facts you should know about X-Men Apocalypse. Let's get started. Number 1. X-Men Apocalypse was first announced via director Bryan Singer on Twitter December 5th, 2013. This was a big deal since this announcement took place months before even its predecessor, X-Men Days of Future Past, would arrive in theaters and over 2 years before the film would be released. Number 2. Even though Singer initially made the film's announcement, it was unclear at first just what his involvement would be, whether he would direct this time around or just act as producer, as he had with X-Men First Class. Number 3. X-Men Apocalypse marks the 8th entry, 9th if you count Deadpool, you vulgar hooligans, in the X-Men cinematic universe. Number 4. Including X-Men Apocalypse, Singer has directed 4 X-Men movies and produced 5. Number 5. With this being the 4th film directed by Singer, he now holds the record for most films helmed within a superhero franchise, beating out both Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. He better look out for the Russo brothers though, they're coming in hot and fast. Number 6. Singer claims that X-Men Apocalypse brings to an end the trilogy that started with X-Men First Class and continued with X-Men Days of Future Past. Number 7. When it came down to picking the villain of the movie and, the title, I guess, the producers chose Apocalypse because they wanted to depict someone who was the god at one time, appearing in a period where he'd have struggle for basic equality. Number 8. The title villain, one of the X-Men's greatest comic foes, was created by writer Louise Simonson and artist Walter Simonson. He first appeared in X Factor Volume 1, Issue 5, released in 1986. Number 9. In order to prepare for the scenes placed even further into the past, Singer and producer Simon Kinberg watched hours of documentaries on ancient Egypt and pyramid theory. Number 10. They spent nearly a year purely in the conceptual brainstorming phase of production before actually moving into pre-production and putting a final script together. Number 11. To help get those brains storming, get it? Storming? Singer brought in Mike Dougherty and Dan Harris, the writers of X2, to chat with him and Kinberg about ideas before they actually committed anything to paper. Number 12. And the script was never set in stone, so to speak. Singer and Kinberg would often rewrite scenes the day of shooting if a given location or character moment inspired them enough. Number 13. For Apocalypse, Kinberg and Singer knew they wanted a non-white actor early on. Idris Elba was considered for the role at one point, as was Tom Hardy, although we gotta point out he is, in fact, white. Though Hardy is awesome in every way, so we can see how they might have tried to ignore his whiteness for a second. Number 14. Stepping into the role of Apocalypse is none other than Star Wars The Force Awakens heroic resistance fighter Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac. Number 15. Isaac was actually Singer's first choice for the role. Singer said, "We had a sense that he and Magneto would have an intense relationship, so it really needed to be somebody specifically with Michael who you felt like he could go head to head with." Number 16. Fassbender admitted that he was excited when Isaac was cast. "I've been a fan for quite a while now, so I was really excited and pleased to hear he was coming aboard. Nothing like a super-powered villain bromance. Watch out, Mcavoy, Isaac is coming to steal your man." Number 17. In the comics, Apocalypse wields an enormous amount of power, rendering him immortal and near invincible. To give the cinematic X-Men a chance of defeating him, the writers had to actually figure out ways to limit his powers. Number 18. The Apocalypse featured in this film is a mashup of many versions of the character from the comic and cartoons. Number 19. While CGI is sometimes used for enhancement, Apocalypse is by and large a practical character. Number 20. We first caught wind of X-Men Apocalypse in the post-credits scene at the end of Days of Future Past, where a young Apocalypse was moving the pyramids with his 4 horsemen in tow. In this movie, the horsemen are Magneto, Storm, Shylock, and Angel. Can you say squad goals? Number 21. In choosing the Horsemen, Kinberg and Singer focused more on thematic resonance than potential for huge use of effects. Number 22. Magneto was the first person Singer and Kinberg decided would be a Horseman for X-Men Apocalypse. He's always got the villainous role on reserve. Number 23. Fassbender worked with Kinberg to figure out the character's arc for the movie, deciding that it would be about his attempts to live a normal life and how it is torn away from him. Well, damn, no wonder he hates non-mutants. That would make anyone a little salty. Number 24. Though this will be the first time we see it on the big screen, Storm has been a Horseman before in the animated series X-Men Evolution. Number 25. Alexandra Shipp steps in for Halle Berry as young Storm. Shipp has actually appeared in a TV show called House of Anubis, so we're betting she's qualified to deal with this whole Egyptian god business. Number 26. Shipp speaks with a Kenyan accent in her role. This helps display more of the character's African identity and differentiates her from the previous films. Berry only briefly attempted an accent in X-Men before reverting back to her American accent in her following X-Men appearances. Number 27. This version of Storm will also be sporting her iconic mohawk, which she also wears in the 1980s X-Men comics. In order to get Storm's mohawk to stay on, the hair and makeup team had to shave Shipp's head. Number 28. Storm's mohawk in the comics was actually meant as a joke by the comic artist Paul Smith, but the editor wanted to keep it and it became a staple of her look for a while. Number 29. Both Berry and Shipp wear wigs in their performances as Storm. Number 30. Part of Storm's backstory that we don't get to see in this movie is her relationship with T'Challa, aka Black Panther. This relationship has a slim chance of ever appearing on screen though, since Fox doesn't hold the rights to Black Panther, and he's launching his own career over on the Marvel Cinematic Universe side. He's played by Chadwick Boseman. Number 31. The Black Panther suit and Storm's suit for X-Men Apocalypse were made by the same people, so Shipp got a sneak peek of his suit during wardrobe fittings. Number 32. Shylock wasn't originally supposed to be in X-Men Apocalypse. During pre-production, Singer kept running through the different Horsemen in X-Men history with the idea that there just needed to be a change and another female character with this movie. Once Shylock was locked down, Kinberg immediately thought of Olivia Munn for the part. He saw her audition for a role in Deadpool. Even though she wasn't right for the part in that movie, Kinberg knew he wanted to work with her. Number 33. Kinberg actually emailed Munn to see if she was interested in the part, and she responded with fan art of her as Shylock. After being on set, it soon became very apparent that Munn held more knowledge about the character than anyone else. Number 34. Shylock had previously made a small appearance in X-Men The Last Stand, played by actress Mayling Melanson. Number 35. Proving herself to be a true X-Men fan on set, it's no surprise that Munn started her career waist deep in nerdom as co-host of G4's Attack of the Show. Number 36. Munn wanted to be sure that Shylock wasn't all sex appeal and no substance. She wanted her background and storyline to be at the forefront of the character, not her tight suit. Number 37. While Shylock will be showing off her telekinesis in the film, we won't be seeing her telepathy. The producers and Munn decided that those powers are reserved for special occasions. Number 38. Shylock's psychic dagger was actually a suggestion from Mcavoy, who plays Charles Xavier. He thought using both a physical sword and the psychic blade would better show off Shylock's abilities as a swordsman. Number 39. Munn also performed all of her own stunts in X-Men Apocalypse. She trained heavily in taekwondo, wire work, and swordplay during production to make her portrayal as believable as possible. Number 40. X-Men Apocalypse isn't Munn's first foray into a superhero blockbuster. She briefly appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as reporter Chess Roberts in Iron Man 2. Number 41. How about a standalone origin film? When asked if she was interested in Shylock getting her own movie, Olivia said, "I think if Shylock had a chance to tell her story, it would be great to start with the genesis and have an understanding of her origin." Number 42. Shylock and Angel have swapped backgrounds. Shylock, normally British, is played by the American Olivia Munn, while Angel, normally American, is played by the British Ben Hardy. Number 43. X-Men Apocalypse is Hardy's feature film debut. He previously starred in the UK television show EastEnders. Number 44. Angel will transition to his metal wings in this movie, paralleling his stint as Archangel in the comics. In both forms, Angel and Archangel's wings are CGI. Number 45. Ben Hardy was also in consideration for the part of Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. The role of Cyclops ultimately went to Ty Sheridan. Number 46. When Sheridan got the news, he handwrote a letter to former Cyclops James Marsden telling him what an honor it was to inherit the role. Marsden responded by email within hours of receiving the letter. Number 47. Before X-Men, Sheridan starred in Dark Places alongside Nicholas Hoult, who plays the lovable blue lug, Beast. Number 48. Cyclops' sunglasses are Ray-Bans. This is a wonderfully simple nod to the 80s setting of the film. Number 49. X-Men Apocalypse will finally feature all of the original X-Men lineup on screen at the same time, except Iceman. Number 50. In deciding which mutants to include in X-Men Apocalypse, Kinberg claims the process begins with the villain and expands from there for the primary characters. Number 51. In choosing the supporting mutants, visual aesthetics takes a higher role in the decision, which makes the process more subjective and random. Number 52. Out with the old and in with the new, apparently. Patrick Stewart said in an interview with Larry King that he would not be returning as Professor Xavier, nor would Sir Ian McKellen be appearing as Magneto. Number 53. McAvoy insisted on shaving his head for the movie, so naturally, he and Singer FaceTimed Patrick Stewart with McAvoy while he did it. Number 54. The wheelchair used by this film's Xavier is the same one Patrick Stewart uses in the first X-Men movie. Number 55. Jennifer Lawrence also returns as the blue-skinned Mystique, this time in a larger leadership role on the team. Because hey, if you have Jennifer Lawrence on your team, you put her in charge. Number 56. Contrary to once saying she was done with the franchise, Lawrence admitted to wanting to do more X-Men movies. She told interviewers, "I love these movies. I love being in them. I love ensemble movies because it's not on anyone's shoulders." Translation: the entire Hunger Games series was riding on me. Number 57. Scene-stealing fan favorite from Days of Future Past, Evan Peters also returns as Quicksilver. Of his character, Peter says that he has kind of matured a little bit. He's gone into music, cleaned it up a little bit. I wonder if he's still playing Time in a Bottle on his MP3 player. Number 58. Peters worked on the film longer than any other actor because of the time it took to shoot his speed sequence. The less than 3-minute sequence took 1.5 months to be shot. Number 59. The Quicksilver sequence was filmed in pieces, so the footage could be reviewed to make sure each bit worked. Number 60. Shooting the scene involved the most complex camera moves, very sophisticated explosive algorithms, and 3D phantom cameras traveling at 50 miles an hour, all while shooting at 3,100 frames per second. Number 61. The producers have been waiting to explore the brotherly dynamic between Havoc and Cyclops since First Class. With no crazy time travel shenanigans in the way and young Cyclops casted, now they finally can. Number 62. How's this for brotherly? Lucas Till, who plays Havoc, moved in with Ty Sheridan after he had wrapped so that he could be around the rest of the cast. Number 63. Holt and Cody Smith McPhee, who plays Nightcrawler, bonded over having to undergo so much makeup to become their blue-hued alter egos. Holt even became something of a mentor to Smith McPhee. Holt said, "I see him sometimes at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I walk in and I can just see he's not feeling it, and I'm like, dude, I know, but honestly, you just zone out and we'll get there." Number 64. Before snagging the role of Nightcrawler, Smith McPhee starred with Fassbender in The Slow West. Number 65. For Beast's makeup this time around, they use a different rubber than in X-Men Days of Future Past, which allowed for more natural facial features and gestures to come across better on camera. Number 66. While on set, Holt improvised the idea for Jean to use Scott's head as a rifle during an action scene since Scott couldn't control his powers yet. Number 67. Holt had more time to improvise too. Because he and McAvoy became close off-screen friends, they were able to improvise quite a bit during this movie to incorporate that relationship. Number 68. After Kinberg took McAvoy, Holt, Sophie Turner, and Rose Byrne to a Taylor Swift concert in Montreal, rumors began to spread that Swift would be playing Dazzler in the movie. While Kinberg later toyed with that idea afterwards, it's false, and T-Swift's only mutant powers remain staying out too late and going on too many dates. Number 69. Actress Tuesday Knight launched a failed Twitter campaign to get cast as Dazzler in X-Men Apocalypse. Number 70. Chloe Grace Moretz, Elle Fanning, and Haley Steinfeld were all in consideration to play Jean Grey before the role went to Sophie Turner. Number 71. Turner got the news that she snagged the role of Jean Grey on her way to an audition, which she subsequently cried through the entire time out of happiness. Number 72. Turner stars as Sansa Stark in the television show Game of Thrones with Peter Dinklage, who appeared as Dr. Bolivar Trask in X-Men Days of Future Past. Number 73. Turner believes that she was cast as Jean Grey due to her role in Game of Thrones and the character's arc in the show's 4th season, saying, "I think maybe one of the reasons that they chose me for Jean is because they saw the dark side of Sansa." Number 74. Turner may have a lot more Jean Grey on her plate soon, as rumors indicate that post-apocalypse, the new cast could kick off a do-over of the Dark Phoenix saga that was butchered in The Last Stand. Number 75. After several minor appearances in the the original 3 X-Men films, the fireworks-wielding Jubilee returns, played by Lana Condor. Condor admitted in an interview that she was more Team Avengers than Team X-Men, but that didn't stop her from accepting the role. Number 76. In the comics and cartoons, her powers are more akin to fireworks, but in this movie, they're described more as fire plasmoid electricity. Number 77. Not all the cast are mutants, though. Rose Byrne reprises her role as the CIA's Moira McTaggart, and Josh Hellman returns as William Stryker, played before in previous installments of the X franchise by both Brian Cox and Danny Huston. Number 78. Among many of Singer's behind-the-scenes photos shared through social media, one teased the inclusion of Caliban in X-Men Apocalypse. Caliban is an albino mutant whose powers allow him to track other mutants, kind of like a walking, talking Cerebro. Number 79. Caliban will be played by Icelandic actor Tomas Lemarquis. Sure, he can track other mutants, but can he track his eyebrows? Number 80. Caliban's appearance in X-Men Apocalypse somewhat coincides with the comics since he first appeared in 1981 in the X-Men comics. Number 81. No longer confined to black leather suits or yellow dance leotards, the X-team in this film will each have their own distinct look when it comes to their costume, especially Nightcrawler, whose red and black suit harkens back to the original costume design from comic book artist Dave Cockrum. Number 82. Not all costumes are without their issues, though. According to Munn, her skin-tight suit did present its own set of problems during production. She said, "Now it fits like a glove, but it's kind of hard because there's been times where I'm pulling and it pops like a balloon," which did happen day one. Number 83. The film will take major cues from the epic alternative timeline X-Men comic event in the 90s Age of Apocalypse, but it would be quite the departure of the already established canon of the movies. In the comics, Professor X is murdered by Legion, and it's actually Magneto that finds the X-Men. Number 84. Apocalypse's origin story also deviates from the comics. In the comics, he is born blue, whereas in the film's trailer, we can clearly see a distinctly non-blue Oscar Isaac undergoing some sort of ritual that turns him blue. Number 85. Music composer John Ottman returns to write the music score for the film. He had previously written the scores for X-Men 2 and Days of Future Past, as well as worked on both as the editor. Number 86. In addition to the X-Men franchise, Ottman and Singer have collaborated together for both of their entire careers, including Valkyrie, Superman Returns, Apt Pupil, and going all the way back to Singer's 1995 breakout film, The Usual Suspects. Number 87. X-Men Apocalypse will be one of the latest blockbusters to shoot in digital. Newton Thomas Sigel, frequent collaborator with Singer, shot the film on a red Epic Dragon camera, which sounds, well, epic. Number 88. The movie was also shot in native 3D, so they wouldn't need to dedicate as much time converting it in post-production and could spend more time on things that actually matter. Number 89. During filming Simulcam, the same technology James Cameron used when shooting Avatar was used to view the CGI'd components of the scenes while they were being shot. Number 90. Following in the footsteps of its predecessor, X-Men Days of Future Past, the majority of X-Men Apocalypse was filmed in the Canadian city of Montreal. Number 91. Even Singer gets stressed at work, so to depressurize after a long day on set, he would watch CBS's Elementary. Number 92. The film takes place in 1983, ushering in a new decade for the X-Men of this rebooted timeline, as X-Men First Class began in the tumultuous 60s amid the Cuban Missile Crisis. Expect lots of neon colors, synthesizer music, and maybe even a slap bracelet or two. Number 93. The 1983 setting was a lot of fun for Singer to work with since he was actually a teenager then, and he understands the pressing issues of the time period. Number 94. According to Kinberg, everything is an alternate timeline at this point, which means that the events of the first 3 X-Men movies are no longer part of this new timeline. Number 95. Apparently, Deadpool, Gambit, Fantastic Four, and the Wolverine movies all place in the same timeline following the events of Days of Future Past. Number 96. While the end of Days of Future Past undid much of the already established X-Men canon, it also gave us a glimpse of the new future where Cyclops, Professor X, and Jean are all alive. If that's true, then doesn't that guarantee they will survive the events of X-Men Apocalypse? Did time travel just spoil the movie? Number 97. The initial reaction to the first sneak peek look of Isaac as Apocalypse were mixed, with some fans making the unfortunate comparison to Ivan Ooze from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Thankfully, subsequent images of Apocalypse have looked less purple and much, much better. Number 98. Kia has made a cross-promotion deal with 20th Century Fox, which has yielded Kia's second X-Men designed car, a Mystique-inspired Kia Sportage. Number 99. For a film that was announced via Twitter, it seemed appropriate that the film's official wrap was announced via Singer's Instagram. Number 100. The production began filming on April 27th, 2015 and wrapped on September 4th. Additional pickups were needed, so more shooting took place in early 2016 because an X-Men's job is never quite done. Number 101. X-Men First Class grossed over $350 million worldwide, while X-Men Days of Future Past grossed over $700 million. Number 102. X-Men Apocalypse will be released in theaters on May 27th, the same weekend as Disney's Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass. Number 103. Some speculate that Disney intentionally scheduled the Alice in Wonderland sequel the same week as Apocalypse as a kind of superhero showdown, as Disney owns the rest of the Marvel Universe. Number 104. Not to worry though, the future of Fox's X-Men franchise looks bright, as 2016 has already seen the release of the wildly successful Deadpool, a third standalone Wolverine film is scheduled for 2017, and a new Mutants film is currently in development. Number 105. Rumor around the X-Mansion is that none other than Hugh Jackman is expected to make an appearance in the film as Wolverine. Because, let's face it isn't considered an X-Men movie without fan-favorite Wolverine. Number 106. A leather goods manufacturer may have inadvertently spilled the beans on Jackman's cameo when they put up a photo of a custom duffel bag meant for Jackman to use on the set of X-Men Apocalypse on Instagram. The photo has since been removed, but the rumors persist. Number 107. As is the case with all Marvel movies, the godfather of Marvel Comics himself, Stan Lee, has been confirmed to have a cameo in the movie. According to Lee himself, his appearance in this film is his favorite one so far. Thanks for watching 107 Facts You Should Know About X-Men Apocalypse. Which new character are you most excited for? Sound off in the comments. And if you liked this video, make sure to check out some of our other 107 Facts videos by clicking on the annotations and links in the description. We have new videos dropping every week, so let us know what you want us to cover next. And if you like getting more from your movies and TV, subscribe to Cinematica, where we help you watch smarter.